Is this Rob Lowe or super creepy Rob Lowe
It's
phoning
super
in?
creepy, Rob Lowe. And I'd smell your hair, but you don't have much.
Ah, yes. That is fantastic. I will accept that and run with that, sir.
So I actually thought about you,
Yes.
figuring I must be coming up on your monitor all the time, and you're like, Jesus, enough of Rob Lowe.
You
already.
are everywhere.
I'm glad you like him.
What's it like for you? Because I know you're out there watching these games
Yeah.
for real football, fantasy football purposes.
Yep.
What's it been like for you? You're on every commercial break, it seems.
Now, you know what? When they came to me, because you allude to, I watch so much sports, and DirecTV ads run all the time historically. So I knew I was getting into something where they would be everywhere. So I wanted to make sure they were special. And I got to say, the gang that puts them together, they're awesome. They really make me laugh. In fact, I just signed, based on the success of these commercials, to do another year for them. So there are more Rob Lowe's to come.
Okay.
In fact, one is making its debut this week.
Oh, okay. Do we?
And I'm afraid to say it is painfully awkward, Rob Lowe.
Is that what it is? It's painfully awkward, Rob Lowe?
Painfully awkward, Rob Lowe.
Okay.
There's Harry.
Okay.
Crazy Harry Rob Lowe.
Okay.
And pencil arms. Don't ask. Just wait. Don't ask.
Okay. That's what happens when you don't have cable, essentially.
That's right.
When
your arms become emaciated.
Okay. When you have cable, you get pencil arms. So what captures your fancy about this football season, Rob? What have you been struck by so far?
Here's what I'm struck by.
Yeah.
I am struck by certain teams that you really see that quality you can't really put your finger on, that always make them perennial stumblers at the finish.
Ah, okay.
I'm thinking mostly about the Bengals at the moment.
Because they tied. That was a sort of an old school Bengals moment, right? The tie at the end of the game when you
the whole thing is bizarre. I'm from Ohio, so it's like I can say it. They're my people, okay? So I don't, I'm not casting aspersions. I grew up with Kenny Anderson and the mustache and Chris Collinsworth and his contact lens commercials, incidentally. I remember.
Is that a local spot for contact lenses?
My earliest memories of Collinsworth were that he sold contact lenses.
Interesting.
And so there were no DirecTV ads. Let me put it to you.
No, that's right. So you grew up a Bengals fan, and then you became a Colts fan because of 18, because of Peyton Manning, correct?
Yeah, became a Colts fan. Actually, I became a Colts fan because my kids, who actually brought me back to watching football, I had drifted away from it, and it's one of the things that bonded us together, and that we did father and son as they grew up, as they discovered football, which they discovered through video games, incidentally.
Sure.
It's just so interesting the way that happens. Through playing Madden, their favorite Madden team was the Colts, and only then did they actually watch the actual Colts. And that's how I became an 18 fan.
Right, and then you became a Peyton Manning fan, and then we were counting before you phoned in. Now that's incredible how it's 2 Januaries ago now, back in January of 12, where you heard the news of Peyton Manning and perhaps retiring. And then I still have the voicemail. Do you mind if I play the voicemail that you left?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay,
sure.
Here we go. Roll the voicemail, Del Tufo. Here it is.
Hey, it's Rob Lowe. Hey, I'm hearing Peyton's going to announce he's done today. Are you hearing this? I'm on NFL radio, ESPN, all those things in my car. I'm not hearing anything. There's nothing on the web, but I'm hearing from very close sources. Wondering what you're hearing. Call me.
There it is.
There it is.
And
I guess with the ability of time, what my sources were saying is he was never going to be a Colt again.
Yes, that might be it right there. And it's remarkable, though, I was talking about it, how much of a firestorm that created. And the reason why, it's because it was so believable. It was so believable at the time that he was going to retire from the game.
It was believable, and also, I think, what was really amazing, unthinkable, that you would never see him in the blue and white. And I have to be honest. To me, what transpired is way more remarkable than him retiring.
Yeah, we have the number of touchdowns. He has the number of touchdowns that he has thrown since that day. That voicemail is 112, Rob. 112 touchdowns Peyton Manning has thrown for the Broncos. And it's true. We take it for granted that he plays this way.
I was so bummed out that it might be the end, and that he's had this resurgence is unbelievable. I don't think there's anybody like him,
no,
certainly in modern sports, who leads with such charisma and like just owns it. Is funny about himself, and yet also just the nuances that I love are like when you do, they have the introductory 30-second clips and they look into the camera holding a football or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like Peyton does it like he's, Brad Pitt. So I mean, he's like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. That's right, I'm Peyton Manning. He's acting, which I love. Other guys are like, yeah, I'm Bill so-and-so from the Ohio State or whatever. And,
right.
And Peyton's throwing it down. He's throwing a touchdown even in the clips.
Does he even, I don't even know, does he say Peyton Manning, Tennessee? It's sort of like one of those things where when the president talks, they never put the chyron at the bottom, President of the United States. You just know. Does he even
say? That you say that when maybe they only do that on defense or off. Oh, you know what they only do that on? I think is offensive defensive line.
Yeah. I don't know about Peyton Manning, Tennessee. Like, we sort of know, right? By this point in time.
Here's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard that on the Tennessee campus, in honor of Peyton, the speed limit is 18.
Yeah, because that's the way, apparently that's the way it is for his dad on the campus of Ole Miss, which is in line for a national championship right now. And they play Tennessee this weekend. So it's sort of a Manning Bowl that's going on this weekend in college football.
That'll be awesome.
How is your fantasy teams? Are you playing fantasy this year?
I'm playing fantasy, and here's what I've decided.
Yes.
You know the phrase, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing? That's what kills me in fantasy football.
Uh-huh.
I have knowledge, but I have a little bit of knowledge. So this year, auto pick.
Yes, and
you know what? I'm doing okay. I'm winning. I'm not lighting the world on fire, but I'm not having a season like I had last year, where it was just a total disaster, and I was, running around like I was, Bill Polian. So,
are you in with your brother and your kids? What league are you in?
It's a family league, and the problem is there are too many people in the league. So if somebody goes down, you can't pick anybody up on waivers.
Uh-huh.
So there's just too many people in the league, and so it's all about whatever team stays the healthiest. Has almost nothing to do with who you put in the field.
What is
at the end of the day?
What's your team name? You didn't auto pick that, did you?
Santa Barbara Swag Boss. Don't ask. I thought Swag Boss was I was coining a cool phrase. Here's my new parlor game for your listeners.
Okay.
When LA gets a franchise, what kind of name are we going with? Assuming we just don't pick up the Chargers or the Rams and keep it.
Well, I think you're going to probably do that, but I like the idea of an expansion Los Angeles franchise. What would it be? I don't know.
Here's my pet peeve in sports.
The Road Ragers?
I hate cutesy pie of the moment names that do not age well.
I got
Mighty
one.
Ducks.
How about that? Like Turn Down for Watt, and there's J.J. Watt, That's how's that going to age, right? That won't age very well.
No, you got to have. That's what I love about the Nationals in baseball. Mm-hmm. Like that franchise feels like it's been there forever with that name.
Yeah.
And those very simple uniforms. Oh, I know. While I'm on, what's bothering me, because you're a powerful man in the NFL.
Yes, I've got the juice. Sure. What do you got?
The helmets on whatchamacallums. Is it the Jaguars? Yes. It's
okay.
The Jaguar helmets. The sort of all the horrible colors all put on one helmet. Can you do something about that? It offends my artistic sensibility.
Well, here's what I'd like to. I would love to. Let's put it that way. But Rob, they're 0-6. I think the last thing they need right now.
No, that's what they do need right now.
A color scheme.
When you think about it, that's exactly what they need. They're 0-6.
Change the conversation.
Blame it on the mojo.
Yes. Okay. So call them up and say, total. That's what happens actually on our business, is that when ratings sort of sag in the sports business, they change the set, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a whole
well,
new
in my
set.
business, it's the hairstyle.
Is that?
Oh, yeah. It's always, there's a certain network that shall remain nameless where they're really obsessed with facial hair. And, like, they'll make you shave your mustache or your sideburns if you lost a couple of overnight rating points in the Dallas market.
Oh, ESPN used to do that. And back in the day, in the late 90s, Keith Olbermann would grow a goatee overnight out of spite. I've never seen somebody grow facial hair out of spite.
I can't believe that Olbermann would do anything out of
Quite
spite.
like that.
That's really...
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
Right.
walking in one day, and he was clean shaven on a Tuesday, and I do a Sports Center on Wednesday, and he'd have this whole full goatee. I'm like, how did you do that? But,
That's unbelievable.
everything's gotten much better for him over there, too, anyway. So before I let you go, can I promote anything other than, what do you got?
The next thing that's coming out is a funny little thing. I'm on a list to be killed by the leader of North Korea because I've made a movie with Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that.
Called The Interview, where those guys are Hollywood talk show host and a segment producer who get an interview with Kim Jong-un, only to be told by the CIA that they have to murder him. It's comedy gold.
Yes.
And I have
an international problem at the same time. It's an odd sort of crossing of the streams of international diplomacy problems and comedy.
Listen, look at it this way. When I watched Franco in the Oscars, he killed me. So he could kill Kim Jong-un, and I say that with love.
I know that.
I say that as someone who's been there. But the thing is, so I'm on a hit list. So if I suddenly have like a Karen Silkwood incident where my cars run off the road or whatever, you and your listeners need to stand up and demand the truth.
Well, they'll never mess with the Santa Barbara swag boss, Rob. We know that. We know that.
Particularly if I start wearing the Jags helmets.
Hey, listen, thank you for phoning in. You're one of my favorites, Rob. It means a lot that you phoned in.
And I feel the same way. More fun to come, for sure.
I look forward to it. And again, it's painfully awkward Rob Lowe coming to a television set near you on an NFL Sunday. That's coming.
And I apologize in advance.
Okay. Rob, thanks again.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
You bet. Thanks. That's Rob Lowe.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern, on Audience.